Indiana Basketball Weekly Show on the Grizzly Truth Sports Network. As always, the Grizzly Truth is powered by Betting.net. Betting.net is your best bet for finding the online casino or sportsbook that's right for you. Make sure you check them out. If you click in the description on YouTube, you can go to the Caesars Sportsbook if you want to bet Indiana and Purdue on Saturday. But tonight, Steve, we're going to talk a little Indiana basketball. We're going to talk Indiana Rutgers. Tonight, Indiana fell to Rutgers by 3 points. Ron Harper Jr. hits a shot at the buzzer to win the game after Parker Stewart hit a three to tie the game. What was your takeaway from this game other than it sucked at the end?
Well, my takeaway from the game, you want to jump right to the end of the game. It's a loss.
The takeaway is why this loss occurred. How about that?
This team's got no finishing art. It doesn't have the ability to. It's got talent. And I'm not even going to fault the coaching to any great degree, although I think that there could have been some better strategy set up in the last 2 to 3 minutes of the game. But we'll get to that part of it. But this team just doesn't have the heart to win these kinds of games. We've seen time and time again when you get into these kinds of games with Indiana, we end up on the short end of it most of the time. I mean, we may occasionally bomb some three out of our butt three-pointer, but we don't set up strategy to win these games and make plays that we have to, 2 or 3 of them, like Rutgers did tonight.
Yeah, Rutgers had guys that
we
stepped
tie
up.
the game, and Rutgers comes right back. And, Harper's what, 5 for, what did he shoot 3-point-wise?
I don't know, but with the game on
I've
the
got
line,
it right here. Hang on. So Harper shoots 5 for 8 3-pointers. We let the ball go right into his hands. Nobody double teams him or guards him or denies him the ball. Ball goes right to him, and he jacks another 3. I mean, that's knowing what's going on the court.
Steve, let me ask you this. In a situation like that, isn't it best to trap them when they get to half court to force him to give the ball up, probably vertically or diagonally?
Yeah. I mean, you can set up all kinds of defenses to stop that. You put a rover back in the back that can guard 2 guys because he's got to make a cross-court pass. You look at who are the shooters in the game. You make sure you've got the shooters covered. You double-team Harper. Because Harper, somebody, a stat guy on that bench, ought to be saying, hey, coach, he's 4 for 7. Let's don't make him 5 for 8. What do? We let him go 5 for 8. I mean, I watched this game, and I was very impressed with how we came out. All right? Well, we came out kind of with a lot of chippiness on our shoulders. We played well. We got control of the game in the first half, early part. And then we started subbing, halfway through the second period, what I would call the second period of the game, the second 10. It kind of bounced out. We got kind of even. And then we get up to a 10-point lead. And then the minute they hit that 3 at the buzzer, I said, boy, I tell you what, I hope that shot doesn't come back to haunt us. Because that gave them momentum going into
into the first 5 minutes, which we always talk about, and we come out in a 10-0 run by Rutgers immediately.
Yeah, and we come out, and we absolutely do the one thing we cannot do that you and I have talked about, that Bob Knight drilled into our heads for 4 seasons that I played there, and for the 29 seasons that he coached there, win the first 5 minutes of the first half, win the first 5 minutes of the second half. We won the first 5 minutes of the first half. Okay, I thought we outplayed Rutgers in the first half. We got our asses kicked in the first 5 minutes of the second half.
And
then we start playing. We start playing what?
And then we fell apart in the last 10 minutes when we did play well for 5 minutes.
The second 5 minutes, we start playing well again. Everybody wakes up. Xavier Johnson comes to life, starts scoring, putting some points on the board, and it starts moving the ball. And then we got lethargic for the last 10 minutes of the game. It's like we are not. I felt like they said, whatever you do, don't control the tempo of this ball game. We do not want to control the tempo of this ball game.
All right, real quick. Joe says it was damn sickening because we have a bunch of comments here. Jack says it was a sad game. What happened in Indiana basketball? I think we already know that. And then we've got Thomas. who says Geronimo should have gotten more minutes, forced 3 turnovers once. I agree with him. I think Jordan Geronimo is a kid that comes in and plays as hard as he possibly can all the time. And I think he's a guy that should come off the bench more and get more minutes.
Yeah, Mike, I have no argument against you. I mean, I don't want to start picking on Mike yet. I'll give him another season here, but the old adage is if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, if it's broke, fix it.
Yeah.
And you got to be willing to play with your lineups a little bit. Hell, Knight played with his lineups for 29 years. I mean, I don't want to compare Mike to Knight on every statement I make.
Well,
I only know what I know
no
from that
comparison.
area.
There's like 3 coaches that ever lived you can compare to Bobby Knight.
But I think you can get too rigid in what you're doing. And the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. We have consistently struggled in this type of ball game. But that being said, this game is basically a play-in game to the tournament. Essentially it is. I mean,
because Rutgers was first 4 out, Indiana was first 4 in.
We win this game,
and we lost the game.
We win this game. We're 10-9 in the Big Ten. We're 19-10 overall. We get 1 win in the dance. I mean, in our dance, the Big Ten tournament, we get 20 wins. I mean, and that's going to get you in.
If they would have won tonight, they would have been in. Now the issue is it's going to be hard as hell to get in.
Well, now they have to get to. I think now they have to have 2 wins in the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah, unless they get a Purdue win.
Yeah, well, the other option is just to beat Purdue this weekend when they play Purdue. But, I don't want to say this when I know we got IU fans listening to us.
Though.
I don't have a lot of confidence that that's going to happen.
Yeah,
I mean, I know I personally, I never won a game at Mackey Arena. In the 4 years I played there, my teams, including 2 Big Ten championships, an NIT championship, and a national championship, we never won at Mackey. It's a very difficult place to play. And this is just going to be, because, Purdue's playing for seeding, and they would love to be the spoilers and keep Indiana out of the dance. Those people would love to do it. I thought we covered the perimeter well enough. They just shot lights. They shot out their butts. They hit shots that most teams normally don't hit. And then you've got the big flaw was Ron Harper Jr. You have to know where that guy is when he's dribbling down the court with 10 seconds to play.
And you got to force him to give up the ball.
You can't even let him get the ball if possible. You're right, Mike. You double team him. You make sure there's 2 guys near him or around him. As soon as that ball goes airborne to him, you've got him trapped where he can do nothing but give it back up. And instead,
I've got a Twitter message from a Charles who says they don't belong in the tournament.
Well, Charles may be right. I mean, I don't know. I still think Indiana's a top 64 team, but they don't take the top 64 team.
Well, Steve, are they a top 34 team?
No, they were 43rd going into this game on the Ken Pong ratings, and they're going to drop now.
And the thing is this, right now they're projecting only 34 major conferences teams will get in, which is the lowest ever, because you've got right now mid-majors like St. Mary's. I mean, St. Mary's has a much better resume than Indiana, and they would beat the brakes off of Indiana if they played. So, yeah. I mean, St. Mary's beat Gonzaga by 11 points the other night. So, Indiana doesn't have anything. Hold on real quick. Thomas, the 3 at the buzzer at the end of the first half killed us. Came out really slow after the side. Yeah, I think we already covered that.
We covered that.
Completely agree. And that's what I was thinking. Because they come up, they hit the 3. Everybody's celebrating. It's 30-22. And once again, they let the guy catch the ball in bounds. He runs right down the sideline and shoots the ball and makes the 3.
I know. It's like, God, you have to play the game until the buzzer sounds. You can't play it until something magnanimous happens for you. And it's example at the end of the game when we hit our 3, we put it up, we get up, we tie the game, and then we just kind of didn't know where anybody really was. To let Ron Harper get that wide open and to get a clean shot off, to put him back up on top after he's 4 for 7, now 5 for 8 after he hits it. And, you know, I even got honked at Race Thompson's pass at the end of the game. Come on, Race. Take 2 or 3 steps back, clear the defender trying to guard you out of bounds. You get the ball tipped, you're going to throw the ball full court, down court. And that's a Hail Mary.
Yeah.
I get it. But still, to have it blocked right at point of throw, it just shows their heads aren't into winning the game. They're into
I don't remember
the
this. Did they have a timeout left when they were inbounding that ball?
No.
Okay.
No. You know, Mike had used his last timeout to set up the score, to tie it up. That's what they said on TV.
Yeah, I mean, the difference here is...
For those of us that watch the game on TV, Mike.
I watched the game on TV.
Did you?
Yes, I watched every second of it.
Very
I actually
good.
did. And my issue is letting their best player run unabated up the court to shoot the 3 at the end of the game, to do it at the end of the first half. Trace Jackson Davis plays great in the first half, scores 14 or 15. I think he had 3 in the second half. He disappeared.
And then vanishes. Yeah.
Race disappeared. Xavier Johnson still made some plays tonight. I think he wasn't quite as good as he had been the last 2 games, but you're not going to get that. He played good enough for us where we
He came alive in the second half when nobody else was coming alive.
Yeah, and it seems to me like him and Fennessy, who wasn't in the last minute, that drove me nuts because outside of Xavier Johnson, the guy who's clutch is Rob Fennessy. We saw it in the win against Purdue, and he's not in a freaking game.
Good point.
I mean, this is absolutely asinine. It's stupid.
It's a, gosh, I don't want to say it's a bench issue.
It is.
But you take that argument and run with that.
Well, the only person that subs guys is the head coach.
I don't know. You know, again, I have not spoken to Mike directly since he took the job. I've done it since he took the job, but not since the season started, and I've not been to a practice, so I don't know what his philosophy is.
I think we see his philosophy because your philosophy, what you do in practice is what you do in games. I've never seen
that's
a team.
A great example. I'm glad you're saying it rather than me.
I've never seen a team that busted their ass in practice that came out and fell apart in the last 10 minutes of 2/3 of the games they play against good teams.
Yeah, and this has happened. It's been a consistent reaction for Indiana basketball this season. I think this team's talented enough to be in the tournament.
It's not this season. It's the last 20 seasons.
20 seasons.
And that is the thing. This is a culture issue because everybody talks about, well, we need a coach to come in and can run this offense or run. It's really not about that. Building a program is about the culture. It's about what you expect from players, what you allow players to get away with. Now, Woodson did bust those guys earlier in the season. I don't know what they did, so I don't know if it was harsh enough, too harsh, or what. But all I know is the culture here to me does not seem to be changing. Everything looks the way it looks. And I think talent-wise, Steve, I don't know what talent has to do with winning games. I mean, you do have to have talent to win games. But in the end, Rutgers is supposed to have a lot less talent than IU. But that coach, what's his name, Pinkle or Pickle, whatever the hell his name is, who cares? He's the Rutgers coach. But the problem is, the guy does a hell of a job. I've watched Rutgers play like 6 or 7 games this year. I watched them beat the brakes off of Michigan State like 3 weeks ago. I mean, they play hard all the time. And to me, to be a really good team, to be a tournament team, that's more important than anything. You have to play hard, and you have to make clutch shots in clutch situations. Parker Stewart did make a 3, but he also missed 1 or 2 before that. We had a missed layup by Trace Jackson Davis. We had a miss right before that by Race Thompson that Trace gets and misses.
Yes.
I mean, this is just... I mean, I love Mike Woodson. Like I said, he was my favorite player, not named Steve at Indiana, when I was a kid. And, of course, I'm talking...
that.
Yeah, and so we don't get a big head here. I'm talking about Steve Alford.
But Steve Isle, Steve Green...
No, I like you better than Steve Green because I was only like 6 when Steve Green played. I didn't remember that one. Yeah, I mean my favorite 34.
Or the same number.
Well, I know, but my favorite 34 is still Brian Evans. But
He's my favorite number 34. Well, it might be Dolph Shays. My favorite 34 is probably Dolph Shays.
nobody here knows who that is except me, you, and everybody else over the age of 50. Joseph Michael says, I had high hopes at the start of the year. You know what the problem is? There's too many liberals in Bloomington. And you know what? That is the problem. I mean, this started with Miles Brand, and I'm not even saying he was wrong to fire Bobby Knight because I think Bobby wanted the hell out of here by then anyways. But the thing is, they were so freaked out about that, they went so overboard about dumbing down the basketball program that this is what you've ended up with. I think the culture Mike Woodson puts into place can be destroyed by the culture that the Board of Regents or whoever runs this crap does. And I think in the end, Archie Miller was a good basketball coach. I watched him take Dayton to the Elite Eight. Mike Woodson, we've seen take the Hawks and the Knicks to the playoffs in the NBA. So what is the issue? Is it really coaching? Was it really Archie Miller? Is it really Mike Woodson? Or is the people that run the university? And from the fear of not having another Bob Knight figure who they bow down to?
I don't know the answer to that. I don't think that's the case because basically all the parties of 20 years ago are gone.
But the thing is this. We still have all the liberals. It's still all liberals, Steve.
All right,
I mean, come on. Let me ask you a question. No, this not list don't. Because the thing that's really stupid is when you have officials and cheerleaders with masks on and nobody else.
When Indiana changes their school colors to blue and white, I'll be concerned.
Why? You know what? They can change it. They're liberals, right? They were liberals with Miles Brand. You can't get more liberal than that.
I think
every D1 school's liberal except for Liberty, Steve.
Okay. I think basically it shows what roads lay ahead for Mike and what he's got to do to change things and get a different culture established in Bloomington to where this is a team of the 70s and 80s that Mike knows well. His mentors, Scotty and Quinn, and those guys are all his mentors, as well as Abers.
Steve,
I have the same mentors.
We can't go in.
We learned from those guys, and I'm saying, who are these players learning from? They're learning not from the players that we did, and it's bullshit to kind of keep going back to the golden era of national championships, but you have to look at what worked there and what went on right. And I know that I know for a fact that, and I know he's a special player. Isaiah would have never let us lost that game. Whitman would have never let us lost that game.
You know what?
Kitchell would have never let us lost that game.
Wait a second, Steve. If Isaiah was on this team, the only reason he wouldn't have let you lose the game is because he wouldn't have passed the ball to anybody else. He'd have just shot at his damn self.
Well, but then I say Whitman would have passed the ball. Kitchell.
I don't think they would have on this team because this is a team that needs a guy like that will step up and knock down a baseline jumper and win the damn game.
I just sat there watching the game in total dismay, thinking, "Damn, guys, grow some cojones. Play with your hearts. Don't play not to lose here. Play to win. Go attack somebody. Go." And I don't know if it's the damn rules changes from flagrant 1, flagrant 2.
Hey, but everybody's playing by
that crap that happened at the end of the game. I'm thinking, I told my son who was watching the game with me, I said, that's just a dust up when I played. That we would have butted heads. I mean, there would have been somebody on the ground in that. And nobody
because you would have fought. Because I'll tell you this right now. My issue with that is this. Hold on. And I know it would be selfish, but when another grown man swings at your head and makes contact, and you fall backwards 10 feet and grab your head, even though he barely touched you.
Yeah,
and
you act like him at all.
And he touched him. But I mean, Xavier Johnson's acting like, George Foreman just cracked him with a left hook.
He just gave him the rope-a-dope or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Just stand up. You know what? It would have probably done more for this team if, there'd have been Just a tiny brawl, Steve.
And I don't want to. I'm not trying to micro-coach this team. I'm just saying, in my eyes, we lost this game because this team does not have the heart it takes to win these games. If it falls into one, like it did against maybe Purdue earlier in the year, it fell into that game.
Into a couple, but more often than not, they don't win these games.
They don't win these games, and this is a team that's talented enough with good coaching and good communication between coaching and playing. You win these games. That's what Indiana does. Look at the teams of Indiana through the years.
I know.
We never had the most talented teams. We never had Phil Ford. We never had Michael Jordan. We never had.
You did have Isaiah
Grandmama, Larry Johnson.
You had Isaiah Thomas, though.
We had Isaiah Thomas. That's the only player who ever had any kind of reputable, credible career in the NBA.
Actually, Randy Whitman had a pretty good career.
He played, but really,
he averaged double figures for his career.
Top 75 list? No.
But the thing is, I don't want to go there's only 75 guys on that list, Steve.
Right, and he's not. Nobody's on that list except Isaiah.
You said good career
from Indy. He had a great. He played. He played a long time.
Yeah, but you had a lot of great college players: the Calvert Cheneys, the Kent Bensons, the Mike Woodsons, the Ray Tolbers, the Steve
But we
Risleys.
did not have.
See what I did there? I threw your name in there, and you ignored it. I used to make fun of it.
I was drafted.
Hey, real quick, I know, but you.
Who's sponsoring us this week?
Your mom got you out of the draft, though. It was just like Biden and Trump.
I know she did. She wrote a letter to Dan Quayle.
Yeah, and had him give you a job.
Said I was peeling potatoes for her at home.
Yeah, because she was afraid of you going to Phoenix. All right, find the best place to bet for you. Betting.net offers expert and user reviews for every online sportsbook casino in your state. Also, guys, real quick, I want to bring up the fact that me and Steve will be live after Indiana Purdue on Saturday. And then a week from there, 8 days from there, we will have an NCAA tournament selection show with myself and Steve and maybe a special guest or two on the Sunday night where the teams are picked. So make sure you check us out there. I think we got a comment here. Hold on.
We got a bunch. Chad Michael.
Oh, hell, I've missed a bunch. Hold on.
I missed a bunch here. Go with Chad. Start with Chad.
Chad says, I think we need to give Coach Woodson a few years before we judge him as a college coach. I agree.
I agree 100%.
I'm just frustrated right now.
Yeah, we're just pissed right now because I'm going to be sitting there on Thursday and Friday, and Mike is going to be sitting there on Thursday and Friday, and the Dodgers are not going to be playing.
That's good.
And we're going to end up with Mitchell Trubisky as our quarterback after giving up Carson Wentz for the Colts. And I'm going to be crying because I'm not going to have any opportunity to watch Indiana play. So I agree. We need to give Mike time. And that's why I'm not going to drill down on him and be hard on Mike.
Yeah, but the thing is this, Steve. We have to be honest.
Our expectations were overinflated with Mike coming in here. But
this is the thing. I see a lot of people that go off the deep end if somebody says anything bad. But if we sit here and say everything was fine tonight and they played great and they played really hard,
no, it's not fine. No, it's not fine.
Bill Smith.
This is a game we should have won, Mike.
Hold on.
We should not have lost this basketball game. We're playing at home. We have 17,000 fans cheering us on.
Bill Smith said something good about you. He said, Steve, you belong on the list. I don't remember which list he's talking about, but he said you belong on it. Next
list
up.
Of absolute shitheads that ever played basketball at IU.
Jack R. Hey, you started as a freshman some games. Honestly, Xavier is the best shooter on this team, which isn't good. I don't know if he's the best shooter, but he's
a gutsy shooter. He's willing to take the shot.
Yeah.
He's gutsy. He'll take the shot, and I admire that. I'd rather have it in his hands than who? Mitchell Kopp, or what's his name? Yeah,
Miller Kopp.
Miller Kopp.
You got Mitch Trubisky on your brain.
Who ended up being what was Miller from 3-point range today?
Well, look
it's like for the first time I was like, I don't care what Woodson tells you, stop shooting. 3 points. 1 for 5. 1 for 7 overall. 1 for 5. Stop shooting the ball. And the funny thing is, where they had the cameras position, if you're watching it on the Big Ten Network, you can tell the minute the ball's released off his hands whether it's going in or not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, yep, that ain't going in.
That was the one from like the wing, between the wing and the baseline, and you see it just headed for, yeah. Your best chance there is a stiff breeze banks it in.
I know.
Scott Whitaker says players need more heart. Example, AJ Moye.
AJ Moye was a great example of players that have a lot of heart.
Chad Michael, I think we're all aggravated. We have to find a way to close out games. I tried.
Yeah.
I was sitting in my lucky chair. I was sitting with my legs crossed the way I always am when good things happen. But then I thought, you know what? I've owned that chair for like 10 years.
Thomas is right, too. We're all on the same page here.
And well, Thomas could make this statement on almost every Indiana game this year, and he would be right.
Yeah,
and that's
we played for 30 minutes.
For 30 minutes. Yeah,
we're good for 30 minutes. In the last 10 minutes, we just go soft. It's like the damn soft serve ice cream has been sitting out for 30 minutes, and it was good. And now the last 10 minutes, it's getting runny, and it's getting sloppy, and it's just going to be cream. And not good, solid ice cream. You know, it's like, golly, dag nabbit.
Well, see, I would have equated it more to like a 70-year-old man that's got a hot woman there, and he's ready to go, and then 5 minutes later, there's nothing there. And he's like, what the hell happened? But he's 70 years old.
You know what I want, Mike? I want to go to bed one night in mid to late March, going to bed going, damn, where are they going to put us in the tournament?
Instead of, are we going to get the
Are
tournament?
we going to make the tournament? You know, we haven't done that in 15 years. 6 years. Well, it's been 6 years.
2016, maybe.
Since we danced.
Yeah.
You know, so 6 straight years now, we have not been able to go to bed and say, man, are they coming out west? Am I going to be able to get tickets from IU and go to Pauley or go somewhere west out here in California?
Hey, you know, the good thing, I'm credentialed for the first 4 again this year, so if they can just barely slip in, I might get to be there when they play.
Well, good for you. Yeah, and then hopefully they send them out west and I can go watch them play.
We can get you in there, too.
But in all seriousness, back to, it's a shame. I think I appreciate everybody's input because I think nobody wants to throw this on Mike, the monkey on Mike's back. It's there. But we don't need to add weight to the monkey.
Hey, real quick, Joseph Michael, we do not joke about things like that. He says, bring Tom Crean back. I'm just kidding. Don't kill me. In our eyes, you're already dead, Joseph. Yeah, right. And tomorrow night, guys, you can hear the NASCAR show with Joseph, Joe Spillman, and Steve Risley, which will be on at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, 4 o'clock Pacific. Make sure you check it out. And Jack R. says Rutgers is a better program than Indiana at this point.
It is not. It's not a better program than Indiana.
I just want to hear Indiana's name
on
Selection
Jack.
Sunday.
I'm not gonna buy that one. I buy a lot of stupid crap on eBay, but I'm not gonna buy that one. We're a better program. We're just playing well below subpar than.
Whoa.
You know.
This is. I don't think this is a good program anymore, Steve.
You're
6 years from the last time you made the tournament. You are.
I still think Indiana's a good program.
It's 20 years from its last Final Four.
It's fixable, Mike.
Anything is fixable.
Right. And that makes it not a bad program.
Well, that would make every program not a bad program because every program would be fixable.
Not every program's fixable.
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
How are they not? What program's not fixable?
I don't know. I'd have to.
Other than Kentucky and Louisville because they're cheating bastards. But, I mean, outside of Kentucky and Louisville.
Louisville's going to take a long time to fix.
Put it like this. Before Mark Few got to Gonzaga, they'd never made a tournament. Xavier had never made a tournament until 1983. They make it damn near every year now. And when you look at smaller programs like that, St. Mary's. Who the hell was St. Mary's when we were growing up?
Yeah, and Jack R. comes right back and says the same thing I said. I just want to hear Indiana's name on Selection Sunday. That's all I want.
Yeah.
I don't even have any aspirations. I don't care if they say Indiana goes to Cameron Arena and plays Duke. Okay. We're playing.
We've beat them before, Steve.
We've beaten before there.
We have? There?
Didn't we?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm doubting it. I gotta
listen to Dockich's fish stories to get that one straight.
No, Dockich is a dipshit. But I actually do like to listen to him.
There you go.
It's better than some of the people that
That's why you have me as a partner. You like listening to dipshits. So.
You're not a dipshit, Steve.
Don't sell myself short. I'm a tremendous slouch.
All right.
Okay, Jack R. asks, is there any way Indiana makes the tournament? Yeah,
Yes.
they've got to win. They've got to. The easiest way is to beat Purdue on this weekend. When do they play? Sunday?
Well, I don't think beating Purdue clinches it for them.
I do.
I don't, because we don't know what's going to happen in these conference tournaments, Steve.
I think if they beat Purdue, they're in.
How about this,
Steve? Back to 500 in the Big Ten. And
well, they're 2 games below 500 right now, aren't they?
No, they're 1 game. They were 9-9. Now they're 9-10.
Yeah, but you don't know what's going to happen next week. You could have 6 conferences that have teams that are locked to get in, or you could have like last year where Georgetown jumps out of nowhere and wins the Big East.
Well,
and
okay.
all of a sudden this fall. So I still think,
all right,
even with the Purdue win, you need to beat Michigan. If you beat Purdue,
let's wind you show up with this scenarios. Beat Purdue, win 1 game in the Big Ten tournament.
That's a sure.
Not beat Purdue, win 2 games. Play Purdue tough, take them to the wire, win 2 games in the Big Ten tournament. I think Indiana gets a bid. They'll be as low a seed as you can give them, which is probably a 10 or 12 seed, as an at-large bid, because they saved the lower seeds for the conference champions of, nondescript leagues. And I don't want to knock those leagues either. I'm just saying.
Those last 4 leagues, though, that put the teams in the first 4 are usually fairly nondescript. I mean, hell, they're so bad. Mike Davis gets into the tournament sometimes like that. At Texas Southern.
Indiana.
Hold on. Indiana will most likely play the loser of the Michigan-Iowa game in the Big Ten tournament second round. I thought
that's better than what they were slated for.
Well, they're slated for Michigan
game long.
State.
We were slated to play.
We still are.
Michigan State, which I don't want to.
He means it'll be the third round of the tournament, but it would be Indiana's second game. It would be beat Michigan State, then you play Michigan or Iowa. I think is the way it is now. So it's if they play Michigan State, it is a very winnable game.
Yeah,
but they'll lose
on a neutral court. It's very winnable.
Well, it's not neutral. It's not neutral.
I would call Bankers Life or whatever it's called these days. Stonebridge or Stonehenge or
Stonehenge.
Hogwarts. Is it Hogwarts now?
Hogwash. I don't know.
Hogwarts.
All right, guys. We're losing momentum.
Gamebridge.
Okay.
It's Gamebridge.
Whatever you say, Steve.
What does Gamebridge do? Because they've got their name on everything.
I don't know. Somebody
tell me what Gamebridge does.
I could look it up.
No, not right now. It's not important.
It is. If it's important to you, it's important to me, Steve.
I don't know, but I see Gamebridge on.
It's an annuity company.
All right, that's great. That's what I want my annuity company to do: is pissing away money sponsoring race cars. And
everybody's losing their 401k money from Indiana losing.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jack meant the loser to Michigan Iowa game tomorrow.
Yeah. So Jack, I think there is a chance for them. I still think they can control their own destiny to get in. I just don't know if they're capable to control their own destiny. That's my say.
The other issue
we didn't even really cover the stats, but the stats aren't important in this game. I mean, they shot well.
Well, actually, if you look at the stats, Indiana should have been blown out.
Well, I mean, they only had 9 turnovers.
Rutgers shot 47% to Indiana's 41.
Indiana shot 41.
3-pointers, 44-28. Free throws.
That's where it hurt us.
Free throws, actually, Indiana had a small advantage. The problem was Rutgers made everything in the last 5 minutes. Yeah,
they hit everything. Everybody they threw up there, everybody they put on the line hit all free throws.
Yeah, so.
And
all right. Wrap this shit up, Steve. I'm tired of talking about losses. We're going to come back Saturday around 4:30 or 5 o'clock, and we're going to be partying, and everybody's going to wonder, did we just clinch the tournament because we beat Purdue?
And if they win, I'm going to be broadcasting from in my pool.
I thought you were going to say in the nude.
No, in my pool.
Let's do the show in the nude if Indiana wins.
No, I'm not doing the show in the nude.
I was just going to go from the bottom down nude.
That's you're getting
actually I'm nude now.
Let's stay on this. Come on, stay on this. We have to all get everybody, all the people that all 4 people that listen to us, and thank you
4.
to those 4 people.
Actually, out of the 3 Facebook pages combined, you've got 7, 47, 25. And on Twitter, you got 99. And on YouTube, you got 82. So we're like almost 400 people listening live.
That's great.
And we don't promote it. Except I did put it on the Got Woodson site tonight on Facebook, which I would recommend everybody go check out. So it's one of my favorite. Brian Moore runs it. All right, guys, we're going to wrap the show up. We will be back after the Purdue win on Saturday. And then we will also do a Big Ten tournament preview show, maybe Monday night, Steve?
Definitely. Yeah. See if we can get somebody on.
All right. We are going to go ahead for now and wrap it up. And also, NFL Live, or NFL show tomorrow night live at 9 o'clock with myself, Steve Risley, NFL beat writer Dan Kornhauser. But for now, for Steve Risley, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been watching and listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legends speak.